both the same thing, and I guess I did pretty good because, and going, there were a lot of guys a lot older than I was, and when they came around, they wanted somebody to be chief of party. Who they picked me.
Oh, wow.
So I carried the credit cards and the whole bit.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And no, our immediate boss, Zimmer, he was a good guy. I got along with him. And every time he knew where everybody was going all the time. And one of the things he did, and that's what he did with Merrill too, he'd give him a $5, or no, I think it was a $10 bill. Every time he'd get close to Juarez, go down to Las Cruces or somewhere down that way, Lordsburg. And he said, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but if you get close enough, he said, bring me, what was it? 2 quarts of watermelon Fraser and a couple of quarts of tequila. Had to bring me the change.
Oh, no.
And he did that to me too.
You'd think he'd leave you the change for all the trouble.
Well, that was just one of his sayings,
Yeah.
I don't remember what he did, exactly there, but it was rather cheap. I mean, you could get 2 quarts of hard stuff and 2 quarts of, J. Rodriguez Tequila Numero Uno was 60 cents a quart.
Mm.
And then you had to pay the 18 cents to Texas to bring it out back through El Paso.
Wow.
Which you had to do, but you couldn't go over there to Juarez any other way.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting time with the highway department.
And what did your crew do?
Counted cars.
Counted cars, okay.
Yeah, just counted cars.
Okay.
And I did the driving a lot. The boss most of the time was, just a couple of years older than I was. Bill Beecham was my boss for quite a while, and I had another guy. What the heck was his name? Liggets, Teddy Liggets. He had a younger brother named Demosthenes. They were of Greek descent.
Okay, I was going to say.
And I used to get along with Teddy pretty good because he said, come on, we've got to go in and try this delicatessen, Instead of going to a restaurant and eating, we'd go into one of these places and he'd try to find all the exotic foods that the Greeks eat all the time.
Oh, okay.
The goat cheese and the olives and all this stuff.
Was there much of a Greek population in New Mexico?
I don't think so. He was, like I said, his name was Teddy. And I think it was short for Theodore.
Okay.
But I think their mother was Spanish and their dad was Greek.
Okay.
So they were a mixture of, which a lot of people in Santa Fe and around New Mexico were. They had 2 different nationalities.
Yeah.
And but Beecham and I got along real good. And he got married to a girl and had a younger sister. And at one time he fixed me up with a younger sister, so I went with her for quite a while.
Oh, okay. What was her name?
Mary Lee. And that was after I bought my car, though, so this was later on, and I bought a brand new car.
Oh, really?
After so many years, that 29 Chevrolet didn't last long. I sold it to another kid for the same thing I paid for it.
Okay.
As long as I left the on it. That was one of the stipulations. I had to leave that there.
So what did you buy new?
Well, I think at that time, Merrill and I pooled our money and we bought a 36 Buick.
Oh, you bought it together.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And this was the worst thing we ever did,
Huh.
I think. Because this car didn't last us very long.
Oh, really?
And it started having problems. So we took it in. My dad knew the instructor at the high school that taught auto mechanics.
Uh-huh.
He was a good friend of his. So
Oh, really?
he took the car and had the guys work on it. Well, maybe it was a good deal or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. What we should have done is dropped a new engine in it.
Hmm.
We didn't. We had the one that was in there rebuilt.
Okay.
And it had a, on the throws where the connecting rods are, they had been worn so bad that there were 100 thousandths out around.
Hmm.
So they had to build them up with chrome and regrind it.
Hmm.
Well, when they did that, the crankshaft in the first place, from what I found out in later years, that the crankshaft in those old straight 8 Buicks was not of good quality. So they'd warp on their own after so many miles. And this is what happened to ours, and that's why it wore so bad.
Okay.
And when they tried to build it up, it just made it worse. So that car never did run worth a darn after that.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I think we peddled it at a premium price just to get it off our hands. And somebody bought it that probably had no idea how long it was going to run.
Hmm.
Anyway, after that we bought a motorcycle together.
Oh, really?
We had this little, it was called an Indian pony.
Huh.
And it had the gear shift on the wrong side.
Wow.
It had the gear shift very much like I don't know what you'd call it. The Harleys all had the knob on the left.
Okay.
The shift. But this one had a lever that you pushed up and down to shift the gears.
Interesting.
And so it was a good little bike. We had it for a while until it went sour. And we took it apart and never got it back together.
So you guys pooled your resources and did this while he was in the Air Force and you were in the highway?
No, this is before either one of that happened.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm bouncing around
Oh,
here
that's
like
fine, yeah.
everybody's going to be wondering what happened. No, this was prior days. So, you know,
Is that when you worked for the bakery?
I worked for the bakery before that. You
I didn't know you worked for a bakery.
Yeah, I worked for a bakery for a number of years because I started out just working summer, and I worked the bread shift at a bakery that my cousin was 1/3 owner,
Uh-huh.
Bob Lindbergh. You've probably heard the name.
Yeah.
Okay, and he and Rudy Heedy and Jake Montez, the 3 owners of the bakery.
Okay.
Superior Baking Company in Santa Fe.
Wow.
And I worked on the bread shift, and I would go in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and